Good evening, I'm Steve Ericson. You're listening to New Life Radio, WIBI, and I'm excited. I was able to track down Geoff Moore, and he's on the phone with us tonight.
Hey, Steve. Good to be with you guys.
How you doing, Geoff?
I'm doing good. We are in the middle of our Life Together tour right now that's meandering all over America. And, but it's good to take a minute and catch up with you.
50 cities, I think I understand altogether, or
yeah,
something like that?
Yeah.
Oh, boy. You're in Iowa, I think, calling today?
That's right. We're just about to the halfway point, so.
Oh, boy. I was telling Geoff when we got on the phone we need to get him in Springfield sometime, and
Absolutely.
I'll see if I can put a bug in the people's ears to take care of those concerts for WIBI and see if we can figure something out like that. But first of all, I don't know how this would be possible, but if someone doesn't know you, can you tell us a little about background, your family a little bit for us?
Sure. I was born and raised in Michigan. Discovered Christian music when I got into college and began singing there. Was raised in a Christian home, and my dad led me to Christ when I was about 7 years old. I moved to Nashville in about 1984, and shortly after that started working and recording, and been married and have two great little boys, 4- and 6-year-old boys, Josh and Justin. And I've done quite a few records with my group, The Distance, and most recent ones are A Friend Like You and Evolution. Those are the latest two. So, and Evolution's the album that we're touring on right now.
And I was going to say, the video that's out now called Life Together, that kind of includes a little bit of stuff from both, either with music or with just the talking part, just talking about both of those releases.
Right, yeah.
In fact, your son you just talked about, Joshua, he was actually in some of that video.
He was in the Friend Like You video, right, with Stephen Curtis's son, Caleb, so they're big buddies, so that worked out really well. And I guess the reason we've called the tour Life Together Tour is kind of based on that long-form video that's out that, is a collection of all of our videos from the last couple of years.
And what songs, do you know offhand what songs are all included in that
sure,
as far as the video
Friend
format?
Like You's on there, and Evolution Redefined, and Life Together, and a song called When All Is Said and Done, and then our current single, Heart to God, Hand to Man.
And that's the next one I wanted to talk about, actually, because I've seen that part of the video, and that was really great. I've got some background myself, having gone to a Salvation Army church for a while when I was with foster parents and stuff, so I'm really familiar with their ministry as far as how they reach out to kids as I was back then with some good news clubs and those kind of things, and just be able to attend the church back when I was just a little kid. And I was just wondering, with everything you've done with this video and, of course, with the song,
well, there's probably
how'd you all get
people
this
that
together?
are even hearing you talk about that, Stephen, are saying that this does sound strange. I mean, I think most people were like me when they think of the Salvation Army. They just think of, Christmas time and kettles in front of malls with somebody ringing a bell and maybe a shelter or a second-hand clothing store or something, And there's just so much more to them. They're really a worldwide missions organization, a church, people that are really reaching out to the hopeless all over the world. And I became aware of them a couple of years ago and was just so impressed with the people I met that I really wanted to write a song that would help honor and maybe bring a little attention to their work. And the idea comes from the words of their founder, William Booth, who, it's interesting. He lived in England in the 1800s. He had a vision that to take music of his day and write Christian lyrics to it and use it to reach the world, And I thought, that sounds like a pretty good idea. I think I'll try that.
Yeah.
So, he went on to found the Salvation Army, and when he was asked what their purpose was, he said that phrase, a heart to God and a hand to man. And I just believe that in that little phrase lays the answers for a lot of the ills of our culture and our country. And so I hope this song encourages people to think more about those kind of principles, to support the Salvation Army and even get involved with them, because they're at work right in your own community.
That'd be great. And as you said, of course, Christmas time is just around the corner, but they are a year-round ministry.
Right, that's right.
Can you get us into this song then? We'll go ahead and let the listeners hear what this sounds like in case they haven't had a chance.
Yeah. This is a song that's one of my favorites on the record, and I got the idea and wrote it with a good friend of mine named Pam Mark Hall, who actually is a writer and artist but works with the Salvation Army in Nashville. We wrote this song in a little chapel down in the Salvation Army office down in Nashville, Tennessee, where I live. And so next time you hear that little bell this Christmas, maybe we'll think more about the words of William Booth, a heart to God and a hand to man.
Geoff Moore in the Distance, another great song from his CD called Evolution, Heart to God and Hand to Man. I was going to say, Geoff, while we got you in the line, the other song that is also part of that video but actually was written a couple years back was A Friend Like You. And I understand you wrote that with Stephen Curtis Chapman.
Right.
Now, how did that work? Did he do the I-I-I-I's and you did the rest, or how'd that come together?
I still have a little tape that I carry tape recorder with me for song ideas, you know. I still have a tape where I was singing I, something about friendship. That's all it was. And Stephen and I got together. And the Lord has granted he and I with a very dear and special friendship, and so this song was a very natural outgrowth of that. He and I have written many, many songs together, both for my records and his records, and I think that's probably the one that, you know, is really a celebration of the relationship that he and I have, and hopefully to be reflective of a relationship that we can have with God, that he desires to be close to us, to have a friendship with us, and the things that work among our friendships here are some of the same principles that work with him, with God, you know, time and commitment, honesty, and vulnerability, and all those things. So I hope the song, along with being fun to sing along with, encourages us to have good relationships here with each other and a good relationship with our Heavenly Father.
That's great. I think from listening to listeners, I do an all-night request night, and actually this is broadcast tonight during an all-request night, and I'm sure somebody might be requesting this one. So let's go ahead and get into it and kind of get it over with, and we can all sing along with it.
Okay.
Go ahead and start this one up for us.
All right. Well, here it is. A Friend Like You.
What a great song. Hopefully we didn't get any of you guys in car accidents while you're listening to that or anything. It's one of those fun songs you can sing along with or hum along with. If you're not too musical, you can just tap your feet to or something like that. A song called Friend Like You, Geoff Moore and the Distance. And we've got Geoff Moore on the phone. And I wanted to ask you something kind of interesting here. I read in the Release magazine that you really actually think that, is this correct? You actually think that Lincoln Logs were your favorite toy from childhood?
Absolutely. Yeah.
You do? I always liked the Legos better.
Well, Legos were a little high-tech for me.
Oh.
Lincoln Log was something I was able to just, it's only one way you can put them together.
Well, I suppose that's true. My favorite thing about Legos was you could just kind of not remember to pick up all of them and just leave those single hump ones in the shag carpeting.
Yeah.
So that after the lights went out, then you're...
toe stubbing to
Yes, yeah, see? So they come a double handy. You can either build with them or kind of terrorize the rest of your family members with
trap
that.
the house.
That's exactly right. But anyway, I wanted to touch on that too because I noticed that in the Release magazine. I wonder what he was thinking about that.
Yeah.
They ask you some interesting questions on it, that's for sure.
That was one of the more unusual interviews I've done, that's right.
Yeah, I would guess so. Let's see what else I had here. I know right now you're on a 50 cities tour, and I think Eric Champion is opening for you.
That's right, yeah.
And his newest is called Virtual Reality, isn't it?
Vertical reality.
Yeah, that's the takeoff on it.
Yeah.
So silly me, over my head, that's for sure. But we've been playing some of his music as well, so it's great that you got kind of a double punch thing going there where you guys can just work off of each other that way.
Right, yeah.
That's great.
I think he's done a great job. It's been a really wonderful tour, and just to see the response of the crowds that have come out, and just the people that have, you know, that have been impacted by the gospel for being there. It's really been exciting to see.
Is this one of your heaviest tour schedules?
Yeah, it sure is. Uh-huh.
I thought maybe it was.
And, you know, so, but there's just been, over the last few years, we've experienced some pretty phenomenal growth with A Friend Like You and Evolution, and it's just created a pretty great demand for us in the country, and I just feel like if people are kind enough to buy our records, the least we can do is get somewhere near them where they can come see the show. So that's really what our goal is.
I was thinking the only, if not that it's a real big disadvantage, I suppose it can be at times, but with being on the road so much, how do you find quiet time with the Lord yourself?
Well, it's just a real commitment to do it while I'm on the road. We have daily devotions as a group every day on tour, as well as a devotional time, you know, privately and personally. It's just a matter of, you know, making sure that you take advantage and be a good steward of the time that you have.
So you have somebody on staff there as far as to help, like, organize maybe a group chapel session or something like that too?
Well, I kind of carry that responsibility for our group and all of our crew and all the people that travel with us. But we occasionally have we have some guest speakers come in and do devotions for us. We were in Arkansas not long ago, and the chaplain from John Brown University came in and got him Ron Hutchcraft, and national radio speaker.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
We did a concert with him last night. He did devotions for us. So when I have some friends or people in the area that I know about, we'll sometimes bring them in too.
Yeah, I was going to say with everything that you're doing, of course, myself being involved with ministry the way it is too, it's easy to go through and, of course, be busy in Christian ministry and yet not have that private time on your own too. It's, as you said, it takes a commitment, it takes a decision to make that, hey, you're going to make the time for what's important.
That's right.
I think we both try and come into struggle with that probably once in a while too.
Mm-hmm.
As you said, you're from Michigan originally, and I wanted to touch one more time on that briefly. I talked to a friend of mine. I don't know if you may not know her personally yourself, but she said, and maybe you could kind of verify this perhaps, but she said that I think she lived not too far away from maybe a grandma or something in the big town of Ortonville, Michigan.
That's right. That's the town I grew up in.
Uh-huh. So that is true.
Not a very big place.
Oh, I thought so. I know she didn't say that on your bio, though. You must have gone to nearby Flint for getting born and all that kind of stuff,
That's
I suppose.
Right, yeah.
Not too far away from Ortonville. So not too many people know where Ortonville is. You have to have your hand up in front of them and be pointing things out on your hand, of course.
Yeah, that's right.
If you're from Michigan. So it's like, where are you? Oh, so you're by the thumb area or something. But
yeah.
Gee, we can't do that with Illinois. It's just not the right shape of a state for some reason.
That's right. But I married an Illinois girl, so.
Oh, gee,
my
that's
wife
great.
is from Chicago area, so.
That's great. Well, I'm glad we could contribute to your life somehow there. But boy, it's been good having you with us on the phone today.
You're welcome. I appreciate you guys. And those of you listening, thanks so much for the support you've shown to Geoff More Than Distance these last few years. And if you don't know about us, golly,
yeah,
go pick up a CD. We think you like it.
Yeah, really. Get the CD or
a video or whatever.
Get the video or one way or the other. I was telling you a little bit, Geoff, on the phone, and telling our listeners too that he's got a page or so about him in the Release magazine for I guess that was last month that came out, and
right.
Perhaps we'll see some other things in writing eventually too. We'll see if we can get you in this area. That'd be the thing we'd like to do too. See if we can hook us up with something. Talk to the powers that be and see if we can get you in this area sometime.
All right.
That'd be great. Hey, thanks a lot.
You're
and
welcome.
we'll
God bless you guys now.
be praying for your ministry.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Thanks.